Hey Linnea, how do I get clear on what I want and then bring it into reality? I have a recipe for that. Today, I'm going to show you how to set health, relationship, and money goals that actually work. So you can task your subconscious mind to guide you towards the life you actually want. Welcome to day 3 of my NLP series designed to rewire your subconscious mind, reprogram your mind, uplift your energy, and transform your life. Let's have some fun, shall we? I want to start by talking about why setting a goal is so important. When we want to create a life we love, the first step is to get really clear on what we want. This is the perfect NLP-inspired goal-setting recipe. You need 3 things. You need a state, a vibration, and an outcome. And with those 3 things, you can manifest anything your heart desires. So a quick overview of those 3 ingredients. You need a state. You need to know how you want to feel. You need a vibration, which means that every single day you are anchoring into the state you want until it becomes your natural vibration. And you need an outcome. That means you're clear and specific on exactly what you want, a tangible result that you want to create in your life. And when we aren't clear on what we want and where we are going, the state we want to be in every single day, then we end up drifting. I touched on this in the last video in this series, but I wanted to touch on it again because this will help us to understand why knowing what we want is so important. So let me paint the picture for you. You were born into a world that already had a script written for you. The script tells us to go to school, to climb the social ladder, to wear certain things, to act a certain way, to get a certain job, and to live a certain way. And without even knowing it, we are following the script that society has written for us. But when we are just floating through life, writing our story by someone else's script, we just end up drifting and floating. And eventually, when we drift and float, we float so far off into the middle of nowhere, the middle of the ocean, and we get so far away from who we're meant to be and what we authentically are. That's why in the last video, I shared the empowerment formula, which helps us move back into the driver's seat so that we can start to steer our lives in the direction that we want to go and get realigned with our authentic truth so that you can build a vision that is so clear and so anchored into the truth of who you are that nothing can steer you off course. And that is what we are going to do today. Let's talk about the difference between states and outcomes and where a lot of people are missing an ingredient when it comes to manifesting, setting goals, or intentions. Let's start with states. A lot of clients come to me and they naturally want to set goals based on states. It comes easy to them. They say things like, I just want to feel happy. I just want to feel free. I just want to feel peace. And those are beautiful intentions, but they're not specific outcomes, and both are super important. But with a state like happiness, confidence, abundance, peace, we can actually tune to those emotions instantly. It doesn't take any time to get there, especially with an NLP tool called anchoring. We can access any state that we desire at a literal push of a button. We are going to talk about NLP's anchoring tool in another video, but imagine being able to push a button to access confidence before walking into a meeting, or anchor into a state of joy before you walk into a family gathering. That's exactly what anchoring allows you to do. So with a state, you don't require any time to get there. It's not work to get there. It's something that you can have right now with the right tools. So I want to show you how this works. I want you to just close your eyes for me and drop down into your body. Thinking of a time where you felt truly happy, like that sort of full body, soul lit up kind of happy. Maybe you were with someone you love, maybe you were traveling, maybe you were just laughing so hard your cheeks hurt. Now float down into that moment. What did you see? What did you hear? What did you feel in your body? Let that memory wash over you. That feeling, that's a state. And guess what? You can access it right now. You don't need a goal to feel it. You just need to anchor it. So here's why we can't just have state-based goals. Your subconscious mind is like an internal navigation system or a GPS. Mind is constantly steering you, navigating you towards whatever goal you've programmed into it, if you've programmed a goal into it. So if you are unclear on what that goal or intention is, your subconscious mind might not have a task, it might not know where to steer you, so you end up drifting far away from feeling on purpose or feeling in alignment or fulfilled. And there's also a problem with that if we are unclear, because your subconscious mind naturally takes the road or the path of least resistance. So when we're setting goals, if we say something like, I just want more money, then if we step outside and we find a dime on the sidewalk, the subconscious mind says, yes, we are done. We can check that off the list, and it stops seeking or moving you towards that goal. If we say something like, I just want to be happier, and we go for a walk and we see an adorable fluffy dog and it just makes us smile and fills us with joy, the subconscious mind says, check, we are complete. Whoa! The next point I want to make is that we need to be very specific with the second ingredient, which are the outcomes that we set. An outcome is specific, measurable, and it's something that your subconscious mind can actually move you towards. So an example of a specific outcome might be, I have a job doing what I love. I work 15 hours a week. I make $100,000 a year, and I work with clients who are my soulmate clients. They feel so fun to work with, and I love what I do. I have this job by next month. See the difference? That's a goal that your subconscious mind can be tasked towards. So it can start filtering out your environment, guiding you towards decisions, and magnetizing opportunities towards you that will help you create and achieve that goal. So now let's set some specific outcomes in health, relationship, and money. If you want, you can grab a journal and jot down some of the answers to these questions, or write down the questions themselves. Or you can use these questions to help guide your clients towards creating super specific, measurable outcomes that actually magnetize what they want towards them. Let's start with money goals. So we already discussed how if we say, I just want to make more money, that's not specific enough, because you could be doing laundry and you could find a quarter and your subconscious mind will say, yes, we've got more money, we're done. So we want to be super specific. We want to ask, how much money exactly? By when do you want it? And through what means? How does the money come? This level of clarity will give your subconscious mind a strategy so it will know how to guide you. The same goes for relationship. I hear so many clients say, I just want a relationship. I just want to find love. Well, how specifically do you want to find love, and with who? You can ask, what kind of partner do you want? Does this person work 9 to 5, or are they an entrepreneur? Are they adventurous or grounded? What values do they hold? The clearer your picture in terms of the relationship you want, the more magnetic you will be to attracting that. We can also use this with our clients. Instead of saying, I want a new client, be more specific. What does that client do? What's their story? How can you help them? Get as specific as you can. Now for health and wellness, a lot of women will say, I just want to lose weight. Well, how specifically? How much weight do you want to lose? Do you want to lose body fat or muscle? Do you want to build muscle and lose body fat? What weight do you want to reach? How exactly does your body look and feel when you're at the end of this journey? And what does your ideal health routine look like? Script a very clear picture of each area in your life you want to manifest your ideal outcomes in, and get super clear and super specific. The more you can use words, descriptive words, sensory-based words that describe what you want, the better. And if you can feel emotion as you're writing it and bring yourself into the state that you experience when you have these things, that's even better. And that kind of brings us back to the first ingredient, which is state. When you have the money, the clients, the business, the purpose, the fulfillment, when you have the relationship, the health, how do you feel? Write that down. How do you feel when you have it? Is it happy, confident? And whatever emotion or state you just wrote down, that is your job to now anchor into every single day to create the feeling now and make it your vibration, because the law of attraction says, the law of vibration says that whatever we are vibrating at, whatever motion we have anchored in and rippling throughout our body, becomes what we magnetize. We become like a magnet. And we'll talk a little bit more about that manifestation piece in just a moment and why that's so important. But before we dive into that, let me recap for you. Here are the ingredients for a really specific, awesome outcome. And you might recognize some of these from the classic goal setting tool, which is the SMART framework. So a good goal is specific. You have a crystal clear picture of exactly what you want. It's measurable. You will know when you have it. It's time bound. That means that it creates this sense of urgency with your subconscious mind, so that if you just say, I want to make $100,000 a year working 15 hours a week, but you don't say specifically by when, your subconscious mind might not be clear on that task. So it might just casually take you through life thinking, well, we can do this in the next 10, 20 years. So creating a time frame gives that subconscious mind a sense of urgency and momentum. That being said, things might take a lot less time than you think that they might, especially when we involve the universe. Because you are putting this goal, this anchor out into the universe, and the universe will provide the how. But because there is time frame involved, it creates a beautiful sense of urgency, which moves you towards what you want a lot faster. And lastly, your goal should be self-driven. That means this is something that you want because you want it, not because your mom said you should, not because your spouse said you should, not because a teacher said you should, but because you specifically want it. Because that is the only way that you will stay driven and motivated to move authentically towards the outcome that you desire. It needs to be for you and you only. So always check in with your why. Why do I want this, and who is it for? The last point I want to make today is about the law of attraction and manifestation, and really bring in that third ingredient, which is vibration. So here's where a lot of people go wrong when they're setting goals. They say, when I have more money, when I'm making $100,000 a year and I'm working 15 hours a week, then I'll feel free and abundant. When I lose that weight and when I feel really good in my body, then I'll be confident. When I have that relationship, then I will feel lovable. But the law of vibration, the law of attraction says that we cannot attract from that state of without. We attract whatever we are currently feeling and experiencing or vibrating at. So the universe is responding to your current vibration, not your wish. So that's why it's essential to know what you feel when you have it and know what those states are that you desire, so that you can choose to anchor those states in every single day, so that you begin vibrating at the state of confidence, of happiness, of joy, and you become a magnet for more of that. And this is where it becomes really beautiful and really fun, because instead of feeling this arduous task of reaching this goal, and sometimes when we get there, have you ever set a goal and when you got there, when you had it, you thought you'd feel a certain way, but you still felt empty? Or it didn't bring you the joy that you thought? That's because you were missing a piece of this formula. You were missing the state already being there. And when you embody the state now, the universe starts rearranging itself to match your vibration. So you become a magnet to the outcome that you desire. If you're ready to take this deeper and get really clear on your vision, then be sure to book a complimentary vision and clarity session with me. You can learn more at the link in the bio or the link in the comments. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because I will be back with our fourth video in this series, and I'm so excited to see you there. Bye for now.